Okay, welcome back to Copytraders Club Season 3, and we're starting off with a new feature called the Check-In, which is relatively short video chat with one of the leading lights of eToro, certainly for this week, Mr. Jaynemesis. How are you, Jay?
Yeah, survived 22. I need one of those t-shirts that says it. I survived the bear market of something. I don't know. Wasn't that bad, really, to be honest. To me, it doesn't feel that bad, at least. So,
Oh, interesting that you're talking like it's all over. We'll get to that later. Uh, Let me just explain what the check-in is, shall I? It's, like I say, a relatively short video chat where I've got a bunch of questions, currently 36 questions to be randomly selected from. They may be about eToro, investing, or life in general. So we've got a random number generator that we're going to crank up several times during this chat. Before we do, Jay, let's talk a little bit about the market because we are a few days away from what could turn out to be a large event. Many are expecting a big move to result from Jerome Powell's words this coming Wednesday. So, three-part question. A, are you? B, in what direction? And C, are you actively positioning yourself for that expected move?
I don't think I am expecting it to be that dramatic, really, to be honest. I think that a lot of it has been priced in. There's certainly an awful lot of discussion about it and discourse in the kind of investing world, and pretty much everyone seems settled on the idea that it's going to be a 0.25% rate hike again. Well, I say again, it's been a while since we've had a 0.25 rate hike, but I think yeah, it's going to be 0.25. I agree with what everyone else is saying. The real question is just what the one after that is really. If this is the kind of the last hike for a while and then we go flat and just kind of sit where we are for probably the rest of the year, or if there's maybe one more to come as well. So I think the only way that we're going to see a big move is if it comes in at 0.5 or something, or nothing, which I think is less likely. In terms of positioning my portfolio for it, a little bit actually, a little bit. I am starting to get a bit more into some of the growth names again, some of the more speculative stuff. But I've been a bit cautious on doing it. So yeah, I'm kind of dipping my toe in the water.
So it sounds like overall you're expecting things to continue on the upside.
I think probably the markets will be reasonably flattish, to be honest. Yeah, we'll see. It depends on. I think it depends on his commentary for the next rate hike. To be honest,
Right.
If they think they're done hiking, then I think yeah we'll see the bull move kind of continue. If not, then maybe it will just flatten out for a bit until the next one.
Do you very much put yourself in the camp of neither bull nor bear?
I think, to be honest, it really depends on the time frame. If I'm looking at it in terms of, is 2023 going to be a profitable year? I would say yes. If I'm looking at it, kind of zooming out a bit more and kind of thinking, well, how the next 3 or 5 years going to go, I'm a bit less certain about that, to be honest. I'm not sure that things are necessarily going to be completely rosy. I think there's still a lot of big kind of headwinds in terms of demographics and what's going on with Russia and energy and everything else in the world. So I think there's still some challenges out there for the markets, to be honest, that maybe people are starting to kind of almost like almost forget about on purpose, I think, and just kind of ignore because they just want things to be nice. And I think that will mean that, yeah, maybe 2023 will be nice, but 2024 may be pretty slow again. But we'll see. We'll see.
And if you're looking at a kind of sideways movement of the market over the next number of years, that would suggest that active management is going to be much more highly valued than more passive styles of investing. That all adds up to something that could work in eToro's favor if people start to realize that.
Yeah, and to be honest, I do feel like the era of of the index fund is I think we're kind of flowing away from that a little bit, because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The more people invest in index funds and ETFs and things, which is been growing in popularity for the past decade, really. The more people move in that direction, the less accurate of a measure of the actual, economy and the markets that may become. The more disjointed it can become and kind of carry up share prices of things in those indexes that are, just not justified to be at those prices. So I think we're kind of due a bit of a shift back to stock picking. Whether or not that plays out, we'll see. I think the trickier the environment is, the better it's going to be for stock pickers. So yeah, I agree with what you said, really.
Okay, well, let's enter into something of a tricky environment here with our random number generator.
You need like a bingo machine or something.
Well, I'm using a random number selector online. So, like I say, we currently have 36 questions. So
yeah,
let's hit generate. 27. Oh no, I should probably leave time for some sort of audio overlay. 27. It's not eToro related, which is fine because we just talked quite a bit there about the markets. Describe your last holiday.
I'm trying to remember my last holiday, really. Well, actually, I suppose it was kind of a short break to the Isle of Wight. Actually, it was the last holiday I really had, which is a bit boring for me, at least. The Isle of Wight, I guess, for anyone who doesn't know, because obviously there's an international audience, so I don't think the Isle of Wight is like well known globally for its charms, I guess. But yeah, it's a tiny island just off the south coast of England, like very close. You could swim it, I reckon, if you were desperate. And probably not advised at this time of year. It's just a nice little island. It's got lots of hills and stuff. I like walking. My girlfriend and her family are all from the kind of Southampton-ish area, and they've always visited the Isle of Wight almost every year. So I go there pretty much every year. So understandably, I guess that's the last place I went to. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
And am I right in thinking that on one of those walks you stumbled across a solar farm?
Yeah, you are. You are a man who clearly follows my social media.
Avidly.
Yeah, I like to just walk in a random direction, pretty much, and see what I find. Sometimes I reach dead ends. This time I found a solar farm. So
that's a good metaphor for your investing as well, I would imagine. Walk around in random directions and end up with the solar farm.
Yeah, maybe not quite like a sort of stumbling in the woods blindly sort of style, but yeah, I guess you could call it exploring until you strike something interesting.
Ready for another random number generation?
I'm ready.
Number 4. Now, this is a pretty vague one, but we'll see what comes up. What are your future plans as a popular investor?
As a popular, I mean, to be honest, continuing what I'm doing, really. I'm pretty happy with the kind of, the workload that I've got and the balance for the most part. Yeah, I think I just want to kind of continue, to be honest. I think I mentioned on Twitter just around the start of the year that, this is the start of my 10th year now. I think I need to double check my tweet and remember my 10th year on eToro. So it's a bit of a milestone year, I guess. But as I said in the tweet, it would be really cool to be reviewing this tweet and retweeting it in another 10 as we approach 20 and try and do that thing that no one's really managed to do simply because of time yet, which is build one of those track records that really is a bit harder to dispute. Just because it's long enough. And I think really until you get to maybe 15 years or so, there's always going to be the people that say that, you've been lucky. And so, yeah, I guess that's my future plans. Really, is to find out if I was lucky.
Okay, good answer. Next number generation. Number 10. What's the most compelling reason for copying you?
I think, to be honest, that I'm one of the strongest, if not the strongest, popular investors on eToro for people that have kind of strong ethics and an ethical framework around their investing. There are a handful of others, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that consider it and maybe don't talk about it as much as well, or make a big deal out of it. But I think that I am one of the few people that really pays a lot of attention to that, in terms of environmental impact, especially. But even beyond that, and talking about the conditions of workers and slavery policies and all of those sorts of things, guns, tobacco, whatever. I know that you're a big fan of.
It's not about me, Jay.
Military
it's
hardware.
Not about me. Yes,
Yeah.
if you want to see what I avoid investing in, I can refer you to my 4 reasons to copy me video. But back to Jaynemesis. Another question. Number 1. What's the worst thing about being a popular investor?
The worst thing about being a popular investor? Well, I guess it's not something that really affects me as much anymore, really. But certainly at the start it did. I would say it's just the pressure, really, and the kind of learning curve and adapting to what it's like with more kind of money following you, and the responsibility that comes with that. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the responsibility is the worst thing, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I remember you saying before that it wasn't so much the angry copiers who are shouting at you and blaming you for not maximizing returns or whatever it is. It's the people who are the sort of more plaintive cries of people saying, look, I didn't have very much in the first place, and I was hoping you would turn this into more than you have, and it's upsetting me. That's the kind of thing that gets you more.
Yeah, definitely. Because for some people, this is their savings. Rightly or wrongly, they've kind of picked their horse, and their horse is you. So you got to hope that you ride well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is a responsibility. So
yeah,
people have to act responsibly, and there's plenty that don't.
Sadly, yeah, I think there are a few too many people that see it, almost absolve themselves of that responsibility by saying, well, they chose to copy me, but I don't think that gives you a license to be reckless, or to change strategy on the fly, or things like that. I think you've got to be responsible and understand that maybe some people didn't go into this fully understanding what you do or whatever, and you've just got to try and communicate.
The vast majority of copiers copy without fully understanding a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, to be honest, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, next number 33. What's your best idea for a side gig that you have never actioned?
Oh, I've got lots. I'm quite an entrepreneurial person. I thought of so I play a lot of board games, and I thought that it would be really cool to use a CNC machine and some time on CAD to redesign board game boxes so that they're all in uniform sizes that are stackable, and have little compartments that you can take out all of the bits independently. And you can buy these sorts of things. They do exist, but they're not designed to work with each other. They're not stackable and reusable and stuff if you lose bits and whatever. And yeah, I thought that would be a pretty cool thing to do. Make them all out of wood and be like nice and kind of eco-friendly, and you could do all the like logos and designs and stuff the same on them all. I thought that would be a pretty cool little mini business for someone, but not me.
The objective being that one set of equipment can be kind of applied to multiple games. Is that it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's like standardizing board game boxes, I guess. Because I've got a lot of board games and they're all different shapes and sizes, and it's really annoying. And some of them come with nice little kind of cut out sections inside and things to keep things in place. But some of them are just a box, and you just pile everything in. So, and in fact, there are even some that are just really badly designed, where you have like models and things that come deconstructed, and then when you construct them,
there's nowhere to put
they're
them.
too big to fit in the box. Yeah. So, I think it's just one of those like small kind of annoyances that I found in life, looking for companies that do that, and not finding any, and being like, well, that's annoying. I should make one, but I'm not going to.
Got to be a better way. What was the last board game you played?
I actually played a Back to the Future board game a couple of weeks ago at a friend's house, which was surprisingly good. Like really good, actually. I'd recommend it. Yeah, it's very very interesting. You kind of travel between the different timelines of the Back to the Future series, and you're trying to, avoid any warps in time, I guess, or any sort of conflicts, and resolve them before they kind of unravel everything. It's a pretty fun game. It's a cooperative game, which is nice.
Fantastic film, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, next number. 35. Oh, well, we've already covered this. The question is there anything you wouldn't invest on moral grounds? So should we pick another one, or would you like to go into that further?
No, let's pick another one, I think.
Okay. 27. Oh, we've already had that one. Number 9. If you were to discover that today is your last day of life, what would be your biggest regret?
Oh. It's so easy to just say what everyone's going to, and say not spending enough time with friends and family. But that is probably the truth. But if I were to pick a second thing, I would say not spending more of my money on really nice stuff. Really nice stuff, like a dedicated cinema room with like a 4K projector and lazy boy reclining chairs, and a lot of Blu-rays.
Nemesis Towers has exactly that.
Nemesis Towers would like to have that, but currently doesn't. It's something that I keep looking at, like bits of space that we don't really use that much, and thinking, could I fit an entire cinema room? Could I justify it? Yeah. Would I be allowed to do it?
I'm surprised that's your answer, but it's funny. I mean, it's a function of how much time you've got left. That's how you spend your money, really. So, if you're gonna twist that into an incredibly short time frame, you'd be like, oh, damn it, I never got around to blowing all my cash. Well, you're never really going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, not even all of it, but I mean, I think I've always been like, well, my way of spending money is investing. Even outside of eToro, I do a lot of seed investing in different kind of startups and stuff, and like crowdfunded kind of things as well. And that's what I spend my paychecks on some months. I'm like, the whole thing is going on this random startup that I found. Probably spending it on something that's a bit more tangible would be nice.
Well, shall we round out the conversation then by you telling us, if you're comfortable, about your project? You're involved in esports project. How's that going? What is that?
Yeah, it's going pretty okay. So we have a couple of developers. So it's called Scorado. If you go to the website, there's basically nothing there currently because we're building the product still. It's basically an online event management platform. So you can set up tournaments and leagues with your friends in whatever discipline takes your fancy, from chess to, esports stuff. Could be, tiddlywinks for all we know. But yeah, you can create your event, invite your friends, track all the results, all the statistics and everything. Completely free for all of the kind of core functionality of it. And yeah, I just really want to build that. I think too many people rely on things like Wikipedia and stuff for finding results. A lot of websites for smaller sports and especially local community things go down. You lose all the records and stuff. So yeah, I just want to build something to help those people organize.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you for helping us organize our thoughts about Jaynemesis as of January 2023. I think we've crammed a lot into this little chat.
Yeah, it's been fun. The check-in. I do miss the plush clubhouse interiors, though.
Yeah, sorry about that, but we'll have to revise things downwards for this year. I'm going to be doing less of the individual one-on-ones, because I've spoken to loads of PIs already. It's harder and harder to get people to schedule those conversations, those over an hour long, getting to know them and everything about them. And, there's a lot of work goes into that, all the research and stuff. So
yeah,
I just don't have the time to, and I don't think it would be possible to continue to do it at the rate that I have done over the past couple of years, just in terms of number of PIs, amount of work, so having a bunch of preset questions kind of reduces my workload quite a lot. and there's an element of me wanting to do more for the YouTube channel and less on the audio side of things, a little bit, I suppose, for those reasons, among others.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense. There's only so many people that you can ever really speak to. I think a lot of people maybe even just wouldn't want to, and I think especially during a bear market as well. So yeah, I think it's
even,
a good format
even among the guys who are doing well, among the strong performing PIs of 2022, it's even seemingly increasingly hard to get them to come on, which is a little bit unusual.
Maybe they've seen your hard-hitting questions and are fearful of you unraveling their strategy actually coming down to a magic 8 ball.
I think that I'm a victim of my own success. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. All the best. Always great to chat.
Yeah, very much enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.